Namaste to you guys. Today I want to speak about the complete self, how to step into it, and really how to embrace both the higher and the lower nature, how to love yourself unconditionally in the process. Now, before starting, I want to mention the fact that I do one-on-one coaching sessions, so if you want to work with me personally, feel free to send me a message. And if you want to be part of my podcast series called Consciously Awakening, feel free to also send me a message. And I will see you into the play. I will see you into the zone, okay? So, the complete self, the higher and the lower nature. I believe that we all have a dual self, meaning we have our higher nature and we have our lower nature. Now, what I'm coming to realize is the fact that we're not perfect. As humans, as human beings, we're not perfect. And we really, into becoming our best versions, we have to embrace our failures, we have to embrace our mistakes, we have to embrace our past experiences, we have to embrace our lower nature, we have to embrace our higher nature. Now, the lower nature is about survival. The lower nature is about the ego. The lower nature is about resistance. The higher nature is about flow. The higher nature is about higher consciousness. The higher nature is about guidance. Okay, so when you completely understand yourself and when you completely love yourself, you can realize that you can actually step into your complete self. Now, for me, the complete self is about evolution, and I realized that I cannot be in my complete self in an instant, but what I'm realizing is that with small steps I'm getting there. With small steps, I'm getting into my completeness, I'm getting into my full power, I'm getting into that state of consciousness that represents freedom, abundance, love, harmony, forgiveness, okay? So if you find yourself like you are in resistance with your thoughts, resistance with your feelings, it means that you are in your lower nature. Now, of course, this also has to be understood, because when we are in our lower nature, we are experiencing the contrast into getting into the higher nature again, okay? So the higher nature is about vibrational alignment. It is about the true self. It is about the self that is as a non-physically focused energy, and that is actually the higher self. That is the self that actually knows you best. That is the self that will actually guide you into this life's journey. That is the self that knows your life path. That is the self that knows your future. That is the self that is represented by your higher nature. Now, the lower nature may be the ego, and the ego is the identifications that we have with the self. The ego is who we think we are at a human level, who we think we are based on our programming, based on our ways of thinking, based on our belief system. Now, what I'm coming to realize is the fact that I gotta question my programming. I gotta question my education. I gotta question what has been taught and inserted into my conscious and subconscious mind. If I get to actually reset my programming, if I get to actually reset my subconscious mind, now I'm giving myself the chance to actually step into my higher nature, which is actually the higher self, which is that pure part of myself that is based on love, authenticity, and higher consciousness, okay? So the first thing to realize is the fact that you gotta reset your belief system. You gotta question your belief system. You gotta actually look deep into your inner source, inner subconscious self, and get to actually reset yourself from that point, okay? So the first thing to realize is that you actually gotta work on your programming. Okay, since childhood we are being programmed into a society, and I realized that the one that follows the crowd is going nowhere fast, okay? The one that actually finds the peace alone is actually a wolf, is actually a lion, and can actually deal with society stuff much easier, okay? So the second suggestion is stop following the crowd so much and move into your individual power, move into your individual strength, move into that state of consciousness that is represented by self-love, Self-love is super important if you want to become your higher self. Self-love is super important if you want to become your complete self, okay? So programming, don't follow the crowd, love yourself, okay? So what I'm coming to realize is the fact that the higher self and the lower self, they are both teachers, okay? The ego also has to be embraced, the ego also has to be accepted, okay? The ego is part of the game, but you don't always have to express your ego out there. You don't always have to express your limits. You don't always have to express hate and jealousy, okay? So embrace your ego and integrate your ego. Love your ego, okay? But don't make the ego rule your life, because now you have become imprisoned by your ego, okay? So accept both. Accept everything about yourself and see what happens. This is today's challenge. To accept everything about yourself and see what happens. If you love yourself unconditionally, now you give the power for the higher self to actually operate through you. Now you give power to source energy and source consciousness to operate and flow through you. I believe that the higher self and the higher nature is about source energy. It is about source truth. It is about love. It is about the guidance that comes from the depth of the soul. It is about opening our hearts to the present moment. It is about not being in resistance with ourselves anymore. It is about alchemy. It is about love. It's about higher octaves of feelings. It's about higher frequencies, okay? Now, what I'm coming to realize is the fact that the higher nature is constantly guiding you. At the same time, it wouldn't intervene with your free will, okay? So realize that you always have a free will, and the more that you learn to listen to your intuition is the more that you step into your higher nature, okay? So the fourth tip is listen to your intuition. If you listen to your intuition, you get to actually embrace your higher nature. You get to actually expand your energies. You get to actually expand your consciousness. For me, the intuition is about stepping into a creative process. It's about listening to my message when it's coming from the heart and when it's coming from the ego. Okay, there's a difference to speak from the heart, and there's a difference to speak from the ego. Now, when you are speaking from the heart, you are actually opening the consciousness of higher levels to come through you. You are opening the consciousness of higher dimensional states of consciousness to flow through you. Okay, so open your heart, express yourself from the heart and see what happens. Usually the message from the higher self is based on a pure positive feeling. Okay, it is that inner voice, it is that inner intuition that actually speaks to you, not through thoughts, not through words, but through feelings. Okay, if you learn to listen to how you feel, you also step into your higher nature. If you learn to listen to how you feel, you also expand your energy field, because feelings are more powerful than thoughts. Feelings are 1,000 times more powerful than thoughts. Okay, so the suggestion is listen to what you feel, because the body holds wisdom. The secret is within. Whenever you are feeling a positive feeling in your body, it means that you should actually listen to that intuition. You should actually listen to that voice that is speaking to you without words, without thoughts, but with feelings. Okay, so yeah, this is my perspective on how to be your complete self and to actually embrace both your higher and lower nature. If you feel like you are finding in moments where you cannot express yourself, if you feel like you are finding yourself in moments where you don't know how to express your intuition, remember that you can actually always look within yourself and question yourself. If you question the belief that is behind your self-expression, and if you question and acknowledge the limitation that is behind your self-expression, now you get to actually increase your self-expression. Okay, you get to step into a higher state of consciousness, and you will allow this limiting belief to actually dissolve. You will allow this limiting belief to actually get to be transmuted into something more beneficial for yourself and for your self-expression. Okay guys, so yeah, this is today's video about the higher and the lower nature. I believe that the ego also has to be loved, the inner child must be loved, and our lower nature also has to be loved, because our lower nature is made out of imperfections. It is made out of limits. It is made out of fear, shame, jealousy. Okay, so when you embrace these things about yourself, you realize that you have the chance to really step into that better version of yourself. Okay, so guys, thank you for watching. Like always, thank you for being here with me on this magical journey. Thank you for being part of this YouTube channel, and thank you for really sharing with me your good vibes, because I actually feel it. Okay, so I'm having a great morning right now, and I'm realizing how important it is to actually love the lower nature and to integrate our fears, integrate our shame, integrate our insecurities, and really get to actually face the fear and really get to step into that higher vibrational state of consciousness, which is all about freedom, peace, harmony, abundance, and the state of completeness. Guys, thanks for watching, and yeah, I'm feeling amazing. I'm feeling amazing. I'm actually having a great morning, and I'm planning to actually keep it this way today. At least just for today. Just for today, I'm trying to keep it this way, and I want to see what happens. And yes, it's about staying connected to yourself. Remember, it's not always easy, but it's always worth it. Guys, thanks for watching, and see you on what is coming up next. I love you so much, so much. Bye guys.